Greetings and welcome to the Astronomy Picture of the Day podcast. Today's picture is titled LDN 1622, Dark Nebula in Orion. So, what do we see here? Well, this is what is known as Lind's Dark Nebula number 1622, named after the astronomer who cataloged a number of these dark nebulae. And we see the dark nebula here towards the top center of the image, and it stands out because it is dark. It looks like there's nothing there. Now, in a dark nebula, that is not the case. There is actually more material there. And in fact, these are regions where the dust is dense enough that you can't see through it. Now, one way to think about this is at a forest. So if you don't have to have material next to each other to have it dense enough for this. But if you're in the central portions of a forest, wherever you look, you're going to be able to, your line of sight will reach a tree and you won't be able to see through it. That's what happens in these dark nebulae. Even though they may span a light year or so, you still cannot see through it, even though the dust is spread out relatively thin within the nebula. So it just turns out that no matter where you happen to look, there's enough density of dust that you will eventually, your eyes will come to a piece of dust, and therefore you can't see anything behind it. So it wouldn't matter if a supernova were to go off right behind this dark nebula, we would never know about it. The light would not be able to get through. Now, I say that we can qualify it. Certainly, we'd still be able to detect it through other wavelengths. So radio waves would be able to penetrate it, and we might be able to detect it that way. But the visible light would not be seen. And if there were a galaxy or something behind here, again, we would not be able to see that. Now, it's not the only nebula here as a dark nebula. In fact, just above it, we see a different type of nebula known as VDB 62, which is an example of a reflection nebula, a brighter region. Now, a reflection nebula is also caused by dust. In a dark nebula, the dust is dense enough that it blocks out the light from behind it. In a reflection nebula, the light is not quite dense enough, and therefore it scatters the light from the stars that have formed. So it's a lower density area near a relatively bright star, and the dust grains will then that light and have it come from all directions, allowing us to illuminate, to see that type of material there. So the dust can do different things. It can block out all the light, or it can scatter the light, depending on the exact density of the dust. Now, dusty areas also do other things. They do dim the light. They don't necessarily have to completely block it out. Those are the dark nebulae, the very denser areas. But even a small amount of dust can make a star seem fainter than it otherwise would. In addition, it also is better at scattering the blue light than the red, and that makes stars seen through dust look a little redder than they would otherwise be seen, a process known as interstellar reddening. So that's what we get to see here in LDN 1622, a dark nebula actually located in the constellation of Orion, near Orion's belt and sword. So that was our picture of the day, titled LDN 1622, Dark Nebula in Orion. We'll be back again tomorrow for the next picture, previewed to be the faint and mostly round. So we'll see what that is about tomorrow. And until then, have a great day, everyone, and I will see you in class.